So friends, myself Professor Maruti Dombar from KLIS SVS Belubi Arts and Commerce College, Saundatti. So today I am going to present on process costing a special lecture. Okay, next slide. So process costing, as we all know, we have to understand in this process costing the important aspects like meaning of process costing and definition of process costing, features of process costing application industries, the procedure of process costing, normal loss, abnormal loss, and the specimen of process account. Next. So the meaning of process costing. Process costing is a method of costing under which all the costs are accumulated for each stage of production and the cost per unit of the product is ascertained at each stage of production by dividing the total cost of each process by the normal output of that process. According to ICMA London, which has defined process costing in its own ways, process costing is that form of operating costing which applies where standardized products or the goods are produced. Next. The basic features of process costing are: the production is continuous, there will be no interruption. The product is homogeneous, the products are similar, the processes are standardized, and the output of one process becomes an input for the next process. The output of the end process is transferred to finished stock account. The costs are collected process wise, and the cost per unit CPU is calculated at the end of the period by dividing the total process cost by the normal output produced during the period. What are the industries where the process costing can be applied? The process costing can be generally applied in industries like paper industry, chemical industry, sugar industry, crude oil and textile industries. Next, what are the procedures in process costing? First, we have to classify the production activities according to process wise. How many processes are going to be carried, that much process accounts have to be opened up. The next, classification of the costs by processes. At each process, whatever the expenses have been incurred or the costs have been incurred, that has to be classified. Then thirdly, a separate account for each process is to be maintained, and the items which are there on the debit side of this process accounts are the material introduced, the labor incurred, direct expenses, overheads charged, and finally the cost of abnormal gain. Next, the items which are there on the credit side of each process account, normally the scrap of normal loss value, and secondly the cost of abnormal loss. Next. How to transfer the cost of output? The cost of output of each process may be transferred either directly to the next process account, or another method is there, process stock account, from where it will be transferred to the next process as and when it is required. Then we shall understand what is normal loss. Normal loss is unavoidable loss which occurs due to the inherent nature of the materials and the production process under normal conditions. This normal loss can be estimated in advance on the basis of the past experience of the industry. Then it may be in the form of normal waste, normal scrap, or normal spoilage. Normal loss may be occurring at the beginning of the process or during the process. Then what is abnormal loss? Abnormal loss is an avoidable loss which occurs due to abnormal reasons like substandard materials used in the production process, carelessness of the workers, machinery breakdown, bad plant design and unplanned operations. These are the important reasons for abnormal loss. Such loss are in excess of predetermined normal loss. It is over and above the normal loss. Then abnormal losses cannot be estimated in advance like normal loss. The abnormal losses arise when actual losses are more than expected losses. What are the formulas which will be very much known by the students and the practitioners of process costing? First one is normal loss units. Normal loss units will be calculated with the formula input units into expected percentage of normal loss if it is given in the problem. Then second one, abnormal loss units, how it is to be calculated? It is to be calculated on the basis of the formula expected output minus actual output. Actual output is to be arrived by taking two considerations. One is input minus normal loss. Then thirdly, the cost of abnormal loss or the valuation of abnormal loss. The abnormal loss valuation has to be made by applying the formula the total cost incurred which is there on the debit side of your process account minus scrap value of normal loss which is there on the credit side of process account and divided by input units and minus normal loss units. It is to be multiplied by actual abnormal loss units. Then how to calculation of average cost per good unit. So, the total cost minus scrap value of the normal loss if it is there, if any, divided by input minus units of normal loss if any. If you apply this formula, you will come to know how much is the average cost per good unit. Then fifth one is abnormal gain units. How to calculate? If the actual output is more than expected output, then there will be a abnormal gain units, that is efficiency is there among the workers. So, actual output minus expected output, that is input minus normal loss. Then how to calculate this abnormal loss cost or the value? Abnormal gain value can be calculated on the basis of the total cost incurred which is there on the total of the debit side of your process account minus scrap value which is there on the credit side of your process account, and it is to be divided by input units minus normal loss units and multiplied by actual abnormal gain units. The total will be the cost of abnormal gain. Okay. Thank you, one and all. We shall see the problems in our next class. Okay. Next one. Stop.